Hi, guys. Okay, so I'm using some new technology, trying to make sure that everything's working. Okay, so I'm going to wait for a few people to jump on. Oh, the comments come through. Let me go on here. Make sure this mamma jam is working. There's everyone. Okay, hi, guys. Love you. Good morning. My computer's showing a tiny bit of delay. Christine, I love you, sister. I'm going to call you later. Okay, so I'm actually drinking coffee black now. I did it. No more friggin' cream and craziness. All right, so if y'all can just comment in here. I'm trying to learn this new technology, make sure everybody can hear me, and then I'm gonna get you guys some value. Answer some questions. You have pretty much anything goes. If you want personal stuff, business stuff, etc. We're just gonna do questions this morning. Okay, yeah, I can see live on my end. Black coffee, brother, yeah. Hey, T, good morning. Okay, so it seems like it's working. Wondering if there's any kind of a delay, but this seems like it's working. Good morning, Jenny. Awesome. So basically this morning, I'm going to answer your questions. And the way this is going to work is you can just post them right in the comments. And on my end, it pops up on my screen and I can see your questions. And I'm just going to jot them and note them down. So any ones that I don't get to on this live, I can get to later. And I can also do other, training videos and Facebook Lives about the things that you guys are really curious about. So here's the deal. The real truth, like just the real blatant, honest, transparent truth, because that's how I roll, right, is that I'm like, my heart is fucking breaking. I can barely take it anymore. My heart is fucking breaking because I'm watching so many of these incredible people with such incredible gifts just floundering, right? Like this morning I was doing, one of my girlfriends taught me how to like sort of refurb my stuff. And so I was doing like these older posts that I have, rewriting them for you guys for some more content and really talking about and like just remembering how hard it is for people to be surrounded by people who really don't think you can do what you're trying to do. And you're surrounded by them. And then you have the vision, you see people who are doing it, but you're surrounded by these naysayers, these people who say it's difficult and these people who say it's hard, right? So first, you're doubting yourself, right? You're already wondering, like, can I really do this? Am I good enough? Can I really help anybody? Does my voice really matter? There's so many people who are already doing this and they do it better than I'm doing, right? Like all this craziness that we already have in conflict inside of ourselves. And then on top of that, to boot, we have people around us that's like, I don't know. I don't think you can do it. That's not reasonable. That's ridiculous. Don't invest in yourself until you, prove that you can do it to yourself. Do it, that you can prove that you can do it, that you can get the result. But here's the thing. How are you going to be able to do it if you're all by yourself dealing with all the crap that's in your head, right? Like if your brain already knew, if you in your little box of your little world in your brain knew how to get the result for yourself already, you would have done it. You wouldn't still be floundering around, right? So the truth is I'm just incredibly passionate about helping support people to get what they want. I was a girl on welfare, right? Like the fire that I have inside to help support people for them. Like when people come to me, they're like, I just can't, it's too hard. I can't afford it. That's out of my range right now. Or I just have too much going on. It's like, I just want to slap them in the face. Like I just want to walk up and slap them in the fucking face because I want them to start to understand what's possible. I want you guys to know what's possible for you. Okay. There's nothing uniquely special about me, right? 1 out of a million is it 1 out of a million? I believe it is. 1 out of a million is born. I should look it up. Fact check. 1 out of a million is born as an actual brilliant human being, a genius. The rest of us are regular people figuring shit out, and we all have the same capacity for the same level of success. We have the same amount of hours in a friggin' day, right? Ain't nothing different about Oprah than you or me and you and anybody else that's crushing it out there and really making a huge difference in the world. Okay? But there are a few things that we need to do in order to be able to get into that path where we're having this accelerated result that we're looking for. To Neil, I got slept. I slept Neil because she's amazing and I love her and I know what she's capable of. And sometimes patterns for us women get really loud because our whole life we've been taught, be quiet, slow down, calm down, do smaller, do less. You know, like this bigness that we have in us has been really, really pressed down pretty much our entire life, which is complete shit, right? And so we have to undo that stuff now. We have to start to do the work to undo that. And a lot of that is completely in your control. And it's hard for us to admit that to ourselves because the pattern of I don't know and I can't and this is hard and see that didn't work and see that like if I ask someone to help me, everything fell apart. I have to do it myself if I want it done right. I'm the only person who does things right around me. Nobody works as hard as I do, right? It's like these things that are just like beating us up on the inside. They're not working. So if I could literally go from welfare to whatever, 500,000 this year on track for in 18 months, like Jesus, can we just start to get it through our head that there are some things going on that are contributing to you not being able to get what you want and that you can have it. You can, right? Really just super honest, transparency. Oh, for the new people, hi guys, love you. Feel free to post your comments, your questions right in the comments. I'm answering questions this morning. So they should come right up down here. Make sure I'm getting the newest ones. Okay, so the new ones are at the top. Okay, yep, got it. All right, so go ahead and post any of your questions, business, personal, etc. Okay, so basically, right, what I watch most coaches doing is giving so much time and attention to what's not working, just more of the same shit that they've been doing for years, but they just bring all that chaos and stuff right into their business. So all of the poor me and the I can't, and this is hard, and let's overcomplicate it, and this has to be perfect, and all of that stuff comes right into the business, and it kicks their ass, right? And then they don't enjoy the process. And here's the thing. Then after they're doing that, and so now they're frazzled, and now they're like, oh, this is difficult. What do? Is the first thing they do show up and do something like really brave, like speak their truth in their voice, show up in a Facebook Live, actually say the thing that they truly believe. Like, I can't tell you how many of the people that I'm surrounded by are these really beautiful Christian people who are struggling so much to have their truth come out of their mouth because they're surrounded by people who are telling them, you need to act like this, you need to talk like this, you need to believe like this, you need to do like this, right? So what do? We kind of avoid that because we avoid maybe pissing people off or maybe people calling us a fraud because we're not good enough. I promise you, when I first started and I was that girl who had 2 baby daddies and I was drinking way too much and my life was a mess and I was making $400 a week for 10 years and I kept bouncing all over the place. I was in college for like 10 years, right? Like I was consistent and steady, always working, but I was a complete disaster. When I started doing Facebook Lives, teaching people how to better life, don't you think people thought I was a fraud? But those same people are freaking asking me how I did it now, right? Those same people are asking me, how did you do that? How did you make all of this happen? So yeah, people are going to think you're a fraud. Who gives a fuck? Like, actually, who gives a crap? What does that have to do with you having a value and gift that you know that the world needs to hear and showing up and letting the world see it? Right? So these coaches that are going through this process, these people that are in this process and they're struggling to figure out, okay, I see that there's these people, even if it's me, right? Okay, Mandy was able to do it. So she was able to go from here to here in 18 months. How the hell did she do that? I'm telling you, the honest to God truth. Hey, Chuck, thanks. This is the honest to God truth. The honest to God truth was I had temper tantrums over there in that corner, right back there. I had temper tantrums in that corner, feeling like I was caged, going like, what the hell? You want me to like, in 12 weeks, I'm supposed to know what I'm doing at Friday at 9 and I'm in a good enough mood to coach you and help support you through this, right? Like just having temper tantrums, like I don't want to have to do this. And I had meltdowns crying in the kitchen on the floor, trying to make my husband take responsibility for the payments I had to come up with for the mentors I had invested in. You need to take care of this. I've helped you with this. I've helped you with that. Just trying somehow to stay in my own little world of not showing up, of just being a fucking mess, of red wine and Dr. Phil and tuning out. Right? and going back and forth, like, I'm going to hustle, I'm going to work, I'm going to, go to college, I'm going to figure this out. And then, okay, now my kids need a little more attention. So I'm going to put college down for a little bit. And I'm going to go back to my kids, and this is bouncing back and forth, which is still a little bit part of my life, right? Like you still, like, whatever the thing is that's the loudest, you give a lot of attention to, and you navigate your way. But back then I did all of that. And it was like, I didn't even show up to doctor's appointments. I would, like, because I was such a victim, it was like, I didn't have to go. Somehow the shit that I went through as a kid translated on this end. Can y'all see me? Okay, hopefully I'm still there. We had a storm here, so the internet is still kind of wonky since the storm because we lost electricity. Okay, I'm not seeing any questions. Maybe you guys are liking my riff. Do you all have any questions, and can you see me? Can you guys let me know if you can see me right now? Because it flashed on my end, and I'm not sure if I'm still live. Nobody's texting. Oh, Andrea. Hey, Andrea. Said yes. Okay, you guys can still see me. All right. What was I saying? Somebody remind me what I was saying. Because now I forget. Flashing lights. Squirrel, squirrel. Thanks, Mara. Okay, I think there's a tiny bit of a delay. Mara can still see me. All right, so I'm just waiting for you guys to remind me what the hell I was saying. Thanks, Jenny. It did cut out for a minute. Okay, yeah, it did on my end too. I think it's my internet, honestly. Okay, what was I saying? I was talking about the thing that I see coaches do the most and why they're not having success being a victim. Thanks, Andrea. Okay, so doctor's appointments. Yes, thanks, Amanda. So literally before I was having success, right? Like while I was stuck in this trap of like just having to work and make $400 a week and me on the floor screaming to Huggy. Yes, that too. I legit, you can ask my husband. And he said no, to his credit. I'm pretty impressed that he did that. And I had to take action for myself. So I was in such a place, like I look back, I'm like, why was my life such a struggle for so long? Like I was on not food stamps. I was on welfare, like food stamps. Yeah, I was on food stamps. Right? Like, why was I like that? Like I grew up in a household that was like that. And then I continued being like that. How come? Right? Like what was there? And then what was the mindset different that I had to have in order to be the woman who was capable of accepting and showing up and believing in my worth in order to be able to accept having a $250,000, $500,000 business on my way to have $1 million business, right? Like there's a lot of shit that had to go on to get from here to here, but it did not have to take 10 years to do it, right? So one, I didn't do it by myself. I had support. So I found someone who scared the shit out of me and called me out and said like, hey, grow up. Like, oh, you don't want to do this work? Then don't do it. Go sit and drink your wine and watch Dr. Phil. Oh, shit. I'm saying that I want to do that because I'm throwing a temper tantrum. That's not really what I want. What I really want is to be the kind of woman who shows up for my family, can afford to have protection for my family, can afford to take care of my parents, can afford a beautiful home for my children, can take them around the world and show them the world in a way that I never could. I can pay off all my debt and not be that girl in debt, that welfare girl who has credit card debt and student loan debt. That's what I really wanted. But I wanted someone else to have to do the work for me. I didn't want to have to mature and show up and be mature enough to handle what I needed to handle, right? Andrea, how did you change your mindset? So many people play victim. I know. This is like why I wake up in the morning. This is everything, right? So here's the deal. Whether we like it or not, that victim, poor man mentality is passed down. Right? Our grandparents taught our parents, taught us, and we teach our children, right? So there's these subtle beliefs that hold us back. So let me give you an example. Okay. So one of the things that really holds us back is like, let me see, a really common one for most people is, well, I guess one of the biggest ones I hear is, it's a little bit different, is people are going to think I'm a fraud. I hear that all the friggin' time. People are going to think like, who does she think she is to offer help to me or offer support to me? And so what we believe, right? So what we believe, what's passed down to us is that we're supposed to to stay small? How many situations have your go-getter ass, your quick study ass, your smart, intuitive, visionary, heart-centered ass been in a situation and you sensed that like you needed to play down a little bit. You needed to play dumb a little bit. You needed to not be so excited about the stuff you had going on. You needed to not make the bold claims that you know deep inside are damn well true. And you kind of just played small a little bit for the people around you. And you acted like everything was cool and you sort of played into that because you sensed from the people around you that you needed to play small. The same sensing you got from your mother, your father, your brothers, sisters, aunts, uncles, right? That you need to be more careful. You need to stay in your box. You need to show up how you're supposed to show up. There's other small things, right? Like that's like more of a complicated one for this particular example. Here's a black and white example. Do not put yourself into any debt to get where you want to go. Well, ask a millionaire and a billionaire. Shit, ask me. I'm not either one of those. And I already know just the level of success I had. You need to put your ass on the line. You need to commit with both feet in and you do whatever it takes to get it done. You just do. So you can't have all these old rules that were passed down from the poor and middle class mentality of listen, if you're going to make I'm going to make $500 a week for the rest of my life. I'm going to make $50K a year for the rest of my life. I'm going to make $100K a year for the rest of my life. If that's all I'm going to make for the rest of my life, I do have to damn well be careful of what level of debt I put myself in or how much I invest in myself moving forward. But the past is not evidence of what's possible for you in the future, right? So how do you change your mindset? Actually, by brave action, right? And by checking on yourself. So we know, we're not stupid. We know when we're doing something that's not going to get us what we want, right? We know that. So if we're doing something that's not going to get us what we want, like when we hide or when we play small or when we are too scared to do something that we know we want to do and we know we can do, right? When we won't invest in ourselves, when we won't push forward, when we are doing those things and we know it's not going to get us where we want to go, you actually have to stop and take the time to challenge those voices. One, how do you change your mindset? Get a mentor who can help you with it. Two, the other thing is actually writing it down. Okay, so I believe, literally writing it down, I believe that going into credit card debt to build my business is not wise. It's foolish, it's careless, and it's not wise. Why do I believe that? Well, you probably believe that because that's what your parents taught you, because their parents who were in the Great Depression taught them, because that's the mindset of scarcity, right? Or there's a biblical principle that says borrow from no man, right? So building a business, you have to, anybody who has multi-millions and has a business that's big has leveraged finances, has leveraged other people's money to get them to the next level. That's the way it works. I can't change that for you. That's the way it works, right? So, all right, so we write that down. I believe blah, 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 blah. Do some research. Ask some people that actually have gotten the result that you're looking to get. Ask them their opinion and then write down, okay, what's actually true? What's actually true is that you don't trust yourself to show up and be consistent and be mature about what you have going on enough to get that result to pay off that debt so that that's not scary anymore. In a drop of a hat, I'll put 50K on credit to do something for my business because I trust myself. I know I'll show up. I know I do the work. I know I draw in mentors that will support me and get me to the next level, right? That's really the difference. The real difference is trusting ourselves and who we are and what we're capable of and not listening to the chatter around us and the people telling us we can't, or I tried and tried all this busy work and I didn't actually do the brave work. So because I'm doing all this busy work, all this stuff, and I'm not getting the result, I'm convinced that I can't do that. So I can't invest in support because I've been doing it by myself and I can't get anywhere. So if I invest in support, then it's all going to crash and burn. When really investing in support is the way to do it and get the result really fast. Mara, do you think the fact that I question almost daily if coaching is what I really want to do is an indicator that I shouldn't do this? Did you doubt if this was your calling or if you really wanted to do this? Yeah, I did. Right? Those moments I said when I felt like I was stuck in a cage or when I felt like I just didn't want to be that responsible, I totally questioned it. I just wanted to go back to fucking off, being stupid and not being so responsible, not being responsible to show up for people and run my business and outgrow those temper tantrums and learn to see situations that came my way that were really difficult as a blessing. I asked to become the woman who was capable of something really great. I asked for a growth spurt, right? And then when the circumstance came that would help me learn to grow through that, I would throw a temper tantrum instead of seeing it as the opportunity to grow through it. So in the beginning, especially if you don't have support, if you don't have a tribe, if you don't have friends who are like-minded, if you don't have that stuff going on, and you go to do something, you do question if this is what I want, because there's no flow, right? Especially if there's no creativity in it, especially if you're looking at what everybody else is doing instead of actually creating your own shit. All of those things contribute to, like, I'm not really sure if this is what I want to do. Now, if you're consistently coaching clients, you're showing up, you know exactly who you want to work with, and you're actually, like, you know how to actually help with the transformation that they're getting, their mindset is shifting and they're growing and whatever your purpose is, right, with them. And you're doing the work and consistently and getting the result. And then you're like, I'm not really sure if this is what I want to do. That's different. But if you're in the beginning and if you're just struggling and doing all this stuff and it's not paying off, then of course you're going to wonder if this is what I want to do, because you're sick of doing the work and not getting the result. And I get that. I get that. And listen, Facebook is in like this really weird transition, right? So on some level, everybody on the planet is struggling with their business, online marketing, entrepreneurship right now. So right now is not the time to be like, okay, you know, I'm doing all these things and I can't get the result. Be patient and grow through this. Find someone who can help you navigate this place right here. But unless you know what it feels like to be successful in what you're doing, the questioning it is just like, pretty much what you're really saying is, how much longer can I do this without getting the result that I'm looking for? How much longer can I keep working for free, right? That's the real question. And I get that. You have no idea how much I get that. That is a hard place to be. And there's so many coaches that are at this place. So you hear, I get it, right? All these people are talking about like your mindset and journaling and blah, blah, blah. And you're just like, shut the fuck up. Just someone teach me how to actually get a client on the damn phone, right? But that's the work. There's a reason why all the people ahead of you are telling you about this stuff. There's a reason everybody ahead of you is telling you, get a friggin' mentor. Do your journaling. Figure out your mindset around this stuff. What's your money mindset? What do you get? Can you accept a compliment? Hi, if you can't accept a compliment, how are you going to accept someone paying you $5,000 for your services? Think about that for a second. It's the same part of the brain. The same part of the brain that when someone says you look beautiful today and you say thank you and you actually let yourself feel and appreciate it, is the same part of your brain that believes that you're worth the financial exchange that you're getting from the people for your services. These are all the things we have to look at. And the work is to catch these things, to catch the mindset, right? So like Andrew was asking, like, how do I change my mindset? Awesome question, right? Journal. Pay attention to what your body is saying to you, right? On any given moment, like I look back on how well I built my business. I'm like, how did I know to do that or to do this or to do that? Like for instance, if you try to run two niches simultaneously, your success rate statistically drops about 30%. It's something like that. I think it was like 90 to 60% chance of success rate when you're doing multiple niches. Right? Like I started as a health coach. I was having wild success as a health coach. Everybody was like, how did you do that? I realized I had a real skill set to help them learn to find their voice, to figure out what their niche was, to niche down, to get clear on it, to show up, to do the brave work, to stop hiding. Right? So I transitioned from health coaching to business coaching. I didn't do both. And clients came to me asking me to health coach them, and I didn't. I said, no, that's not what I do. No, I do this. And I referred them. Like, how did I know to do that? I listened to my body. I listened to my intuition. I didn't know. I was the friggin' girl who was nannying for 10 years and bouncing all over the place. Like, I never ran a business. I don't know anything about a business. How did I know to do that? Right? Because at that moment, I had learned at least that much to listen to my body. What is my body telling me? If I'm doing something and I'm feeling all anxious and flustered, what am I doing wrong? I'm off. I am off, right? And here's the biggest one, even bigger than that, right? Like, yes, learning to listen to your body when you're off, and actually doing something about it and shifting something. Like, I'm doing all this busy work, but I feel anxious. Yeah, maybe because you're avoiding a Facebook Live. You're building a website you don't know how to build without doing a Facebook Live. Let's do some Facebook Live, speak your truth, share your heart, be clear about what you're doing, be mature about what you're doing, and then hire someone to build your website. How about that? Right? But even more importantly, like seriously, even more importantly than this is actually, wait, what did I just say? I just told you, oh, this is important. Scrolling. I told you guys, listen to your body when it's saying no. Right. The intuitive yes and stretch. The most important thing is when you hear intuitively, like you get this great idea and you have a prompting to go do it, to fucking do it. Like, do it. I up-leveled so many times in my business so fast. And every time I went to up-level, I was like, oh my God, this is going to be the thing that makes it all fall apart. I guarantee you when I go to do the next thing, that same shit will come up. I've been so blessed so far. This is going to be the thing that makes it all fall apart. And I just laugh. I'm like, yep, okay, I know. Go ahead, girl, go play. I got big girl panties on. I'll go do this myself. Right? Like acknowledging that part of me that's trying to protect me and moving forward anyway. Right? Like the first time when I was literally on welfare and made my first investment for $30,000, I was shitting my pants. But inside, I knew this is right. And I'm not just talking about investing with a mentor. I'm talking about your idea for a Facebook Live. I'm talking about stop holding back information, content, and helpful stuff. Stop holding it back. No, I'm not going to do a live on that. I'll wait and I'll use that for this. Or no, I'm not going to post that in this group. I'm going to wait and use it for that. Share your shit. Share your shit. Listen, we don't do this to make money. Making money is a byproduct of us giving our gift to the world. It is your byproduct. It's something that you will get. You will. When you share your true voice and when you show up and when you speak and when you're brave and when you push yourself through those levels and you show up and you share the wisdom you have because of all the shit that you've worked yourself through, listen, most of the world doesn't do that work. They're not doing all of that work. You did the work. You did. You're the one with the wisdom. Share that shit. It's like seeing someone drowning and holding on to your life raft and not throwing them the life raft. You're just holding on to it. No, I'll use it later. I'll use it for something else. I'll use it for a different person. Don't do that shit. Speak up and share your voice. Christine, what level of support do you find the most impactful to take action? Weekly, group, etc. Oh my God, group. All day long, every day, group. Certainly this is different for everyone. But if everyone was just doing it, all our clients would be unstuck. Knowledge and action are different animals, Yeah, that's what I'm talking about, the busy work, right? You can't just do busy. Everyone's doing that. Everyone can open up a business page and throw some inspirational shit up there and do a bunch of busy work. Yeah, welcome to 90% of coaches. The top 10%. Okay, what were the stats? I hate that I never remember stats perfectly. It was the top 10% of coaches are making 100,000 or more. Only 10% are making 100,000 or more. That's crazy. Because everybody else is just doing a bunch of busy work and they're not doing the brave work. And if they are doing brave work, like they're showing up and being seen, they haven't slowed down enough to calm the fuck down and actually create content that comes from their heart and is the bravest, deepest message that they want to give to the world. Right? Like for sure right now, my deepest message to the world is you are worthy to have more. You are worthy to live your dreams and stop having the poor girl and middle-class mentality because it's killing you. Right? Like, stop being the poor girl. Stop it. Calm down. Stop using excuses. Show up. Create your work. Take the time to be the calm person who's letting the deepest part of you come forward and then let it be heard and seen by the people who need to find you. How are they going to find you if we're just off doing a bunch of busy work and we're not being seen? And if you are being seen, right, for the people who are out there, good morning, Carrie, the people who are out there who are being seen, and they're like, what the hell is going on? Andrea, my turn to get slapped. I love my clients, right? But the people who are out there, who are being seen, what is your deepest message to the world? Are you saying that? Who are you hiding for? What are you afraid is going to happen when you're successful? Who are you going to leave behind? Who's going to feel abandoned when you're successful? Who's going to get pissed off because you're speaking the truth as you see it and as you know it? What in you is trying to mature so that you can handle the responsibility. Being successful is power. Hi, Christine. You have a lot of power, and power for a lot of people feels very overwhelming and scary. But it's not. It's really not. Listen, all these fucking companies out there who are little assholes have a shit ton of money and they're loud as hell being seen everywhere. Why not you have the finances? Why not you have the $10 million in the bank so that you can support and help the people who are also heart-centered and put the money where you think it should go in this world? Imagine if we just had an onslaught of, the next 10 million people who all hit $10 million in the bank that were all heart-centered, incredible people. How much would this world change? The whole world would fucking change. So stop playing small. Stop hiding your deepest message. Stop going Mach 90 so you feel like you're getting stuff done when you know you're not doing the most important things. Stop doing it alone and telling yourself that you have to do it by yourself. You don't, right? Start digging in and learning, like, what is the mindset stuff that is stopping me from getting to that next level? And if you don't know how to do that by yourself, get someone to help you. And you know what? Okay, here's another thing. I'm just going to love on you guys for a second. When you work with mentors, or when you have peers, or even friendships with people who are getting the result that you're looking for, do not spend your time with, I did this for years. It took me so long to outgrow this. If you can skip past this, you can go even faster than me. Don't spend your time with them telling them about all the shit that's going wrong and all the reasons why it's hard. Stop spending all your time in your brain, building myelin in your brain, training your body to focus on what's not working. Focusing on what's not working is like walking backwards right into your past while you're thinking that you're walking forward. No, nobody needs to know. Nobody gives a shit. It doesn't matter. What you need to spend your time doing is asking smart questions about, okay, what do I do next? How do I make this better? I'm doing consistent Facebook Lives. They're not working. How do I make it better? I got this sales system right here. It's not working. How do I do it better? I'm consistently making 10K months, and for some reason I just can't break through and get to that 25K months. How do I make that better? I'm working with 30 clients. I love doing my one-on-ones. I really want to get to the group. What's my first step to create groups? I've run a bunch of groups. I love my groups, but I really want to do a year-long mastermind. I want to run my first retreat. How do I do that? I ran my first retreat and this was the result. These few things happened. How can I navigate those waters to make sure that doesn't happen again? Right? These are the questions where we need to spend our time and our energy, and nobody does. Nobody in the poor mentality, the middle class mentality, they're not focused on those things. What percentage of our life is focused on all the shit that already wasn't working and just reinforcing all that shit and giving so much? Like, people will pay me shit tons of money, show up on a call, and then tell me about all the things that aren't working. And I get it, because I did the same thing. Because you're thinking in your head, if she doesn't get what's really going on for me, then the advice she has for me isn't relevant because she doesn't know the circumstances. I don't need to fucking know. I don't need to know all that shit. It's like the same for everybody. We are all the same. We are all the same. It's the same. Whether I'm at home with my 2 kids or my 3 kids and on food stamps, and you're on a friend's couch, don't know where to go next, it's all the same shit. It's all the same. I'm stuck in a job where I'm making 40K a year, or, I quit my job and I'm terrified to take on more clients. It's all the same shit. I don't need to know, and you don't need to spend your time and energy there. Because all that really matters is, this is the result I'm going for, and I haven't figured out how to get there. I implemented this, this, and this, and this was the result I got. How do I up-level that? How many times have you asked someone who got the result that kind of question? That's how you're going to start to get really amazing results, right? There's a big difference between those two things. And when you're asking those kind of questions, that's when the people around you can pour in the kind of support that you're looking for. That's incredibly coachable shit right there. That makes sense? Okay, does anybody have any questions? I'll stop for a minute. So let me make sure I answered Christine's. Okay, the level of support I find most impactful to take action. Well, my Diamond Mastermind, we have a group. Obviously, this is how I think it's most impactful. I wouldn't have set it up this way if I didn't. So we have a group. It's a group of women who are pretty much all on the same level. And then we have weekly coaching as well. So the thing about that is that you get to see, this is just completely transparent, right? You get to see the people who are taking brave action, staying focused on that next step and where they get. And you can see the people who are like, I can't, it's hard. And they're not taking action. They're not getting the result. And it's a lag. It's slow, right? And you see them when they come in, they're first learning how to make that mindset shift and how to get into that place. And it's a beautiful process being able to watch them do that. It's beautiful because they're outgrowing and shedding that old skin. But you also get to see really clearly, like, okay, I have a choice for myself. I can stay focused on the best results and keep taking brave action, or I can do a bunch of busy work and come up with a bunch of excuses. And that's really incredibly powerful. Plus, being surrounded with a bunch of like-minded people who are all doing the same thing, it's like a team that's all coming together, right? And then we support each other and we root for each other, and you get to start learning that it's safe to celebrate. It's safe to celebrate your wins. Like, most people don't feel like it's safe to do that. So for me, 100%, I believe it's groups. I actually, unless there's a direct request and really rare circumstances, I don't really do one-on-ones. I will if there's a good reason for it, but I don't really because the power is in the group, right? And even the one-on-one clients I do take, I actually still have them included in the group. Just their coaching would be private one-on-one, right? Because that's how much I believe in groups. And moving forward, I'm going to have smaller 30-day groups for different subjects. So by the way, perfect. Validating what I need for myself and my clients. Weekly support connection, very powerful. Oh, hell yeah, weekly support. Hell yeah. So I do 4 times a month. Some months we have 5 weeks. We have weeks off. We have holidays off. But weekly support, oh my God. Hell yes, weekly support. All day, every day. I absolutely believe in that. Even like digital programs, having a drip that comes out every week, that's still weekly support, is a big deal. Morning, Mandy. I love listening to you. I think you just recently changed from PC to Mac, am I right? And this is the Mac, so much better. I need a new one. I'm looking at Mac. Yes, Ruth, get a Mac. The Macs are amazing. Okay, so I don't want to scroll it too much. Right, okay, the smaller groups. The smaller groups that I'm going to be running are like just, subject. Like the one coming up is like how to just fucking be yourself. Like how to fucking be yourself. How do you just fucking have the complete utter freedom to be yourself? I have that. And I am so willing to try to help you guys and support you guys in having that. And of course, I'm going to run it in a group. Of course, I'm going to run it in a group because that's the power is in the group. So I'll be telling you guys more about that coming up. And Diamonds, you guys have a complimentary access to all the groups I have coming up. So I love group. You learn a lot of things you wouldn't even think of. Hell yeah. You learn at a 10x rate in groups. And I know so many coaches are terrified to, okay, here's one more tip. So many coaches are terrified that they're, that they're in a group that they should charge less. And that if they charge an appropriate amount for a group, then actually they will lose their clients. And I remember going through that process. I thought for sure when I switched over to groups, I was going to lose all my clients, but I just couldn't do it anymore. I couldn't do 30 clients in a week plus be mom and all that shit. Like I just couldn't. So thankfully, necessity pushed me through that into running groups. And then it was amazing running groups. Some groups were a lot more fun than other groups. Some groups had like powerful transformation, deep, like mindset transformation. And other groups really just got the success financially. Like they've all been really different, but they've been really powerful and amazing. And it's amazing how the group that comes together is always so perfect. Even like the retreat, the perfect people show up. So anyway, your clients are going to get 10 times more value. I would actually say it's probably more like 40 times more value if you have a group that's like 30 people or under than they do in one-on-one. Because if it's a group that's like 20 or 30 people, you can still track with your clients. So they still get that personal tracking, but they also get the value from all the other girls in there. So how many other people are asking questions that you haven't even thought of yet? And like I just said, learning from their wins and their losses, learning from all those things together, supporting each other, all the patterns that you work through, learning how to trust people, learning how to support other people, not being a selfish isolator where you only think about yourself, but actually showing up for other people and supporting them. Connections, lifelong friends. The girls in my groups, they're lifelong friends, just like I got my lifelong friends from groups that I've been part of, right? So groups are incredibly powerful, but here's the big tip. If you're a coach and you've been wanting to start a group, this is why most coaches fail when they first start a group. The reason why it's recommended for you to begin with one-on-ones is very specific. I'm not really sure why other mentors don't say why, but here's why. When you work with one-on-one clients, you get to hear the struggles and their vision and what they're longing for. And you'll start to hear, like after my first probably, 50 one-on-one clients, there was like this very common theme. They all saying the same things. And so I was having to coach and teach them the same things. So it was like to the point where I was like ready to bang my head against the wall. Like I can't keep repeating this shit, right? Like I just can't keep repeating it. So of course I created a group where I could just say it once and everybody would hear it. But I learned their voice for my marketing. I literally could sometimes take the shit that they tell me and copy and paste it on a landing page and say, if you're feeling this way and you want this is the group created for that, right? It's like you learn their voice. You learn the common pains that people have in your ideal niche, what your ideal clients, what the voices in their head, what are they telling themselves when they go to bed at night? Not the fluffy language we like to use, because that shit doesn't work. So then you create like, I'm going to run a group, and you create a landing page, and then you wonder why you only got 2 people or no people, or you only got 4 people, right? It's because of your copy. That's it. It's because you didn't know how to speak a language that made people go, oh my God, fuck yes, I'm in. But you learn that language by getting a mentor who already knows it, or working with one-on-one clients. Working with one-on-one clients for a period of time so you can learn all of that stuff is incredibly valuable. Incredibly valuable. What happens is you start to get to the point where you can predict what they're going to do and say, and then you can start to create some really intense copy, right? So one, having the language to be able to create that copy and this, like that wisdom of being able to predict what they have coming up will help you to get really great results in the groups, right? And then the third thing obviously is, if you're just starting out, you're probably not consistent in your marketing or in your Facebook Lives or in whatever your, the chosen path of being seen is for your business, whether it's meetup groups, it's live talks, it's, webinars or workshops, whatever it is. Hold on 1 second. Whatever it is, right? For that path, you learn what you need to learn for them to, if you're on that, like for you to be seen, then you're being consistently seen so that you can actually, the people who are looking for that group in the first place can find you. Right? So you learn all of those things just by doing one-on-one and building your business. So don't poo-poo the one-on-one. It's massive. It's huge. And lesson 2, don't drop your prices to run a group. Never drop your prices to run a group. The value is extraordinary. And the actual challenge is to help people understand that the value of the group is extraordinary. Right? Like, and just think about it this way. If you really doubt that, if you're having trouble with that, doubting that, look at all the high level multimillionaire people. What are they doing? Are they having one-on-one coaches, or are they part of other masterminds? If you don't know that because you haven't been around them, they're all part of masterminds, right? It's like 2-day masterminds, in, go deep, level, out. Group setting. The value is in the group, right? The networking, the group. Tony Robbins, what's it called? Platinum Partnership is $100K a year. And you literally meet up 4 times a year with the people there. Tony's not even there himself, I believe, right? You're paying to be in the room with those people and to participate in networking with them. So don't poo-poo the group. It is literally where massive value happens, massive transformation happens, and you don't need to lower your prices for that. Okay, let me make sure I didn't miss any questions. Confused. You said don't go into debt. Oh, I did miss one. T, confused. You said don't go in debt to build, but the debt is inevitable now to invest in order to grow. You said, good morning, Pamela. You said don't go into debt to build, but the debt is inevitable. Oh, okay, because to you personally, T. Okay, so what Tennille's talking about is I had told her, don't go into debt to make an investment happen. But now I'm saying on this live, hell yeah, you need to go into debt to build your business. Like, trust yourself to show up and do the work when you make an investment. So if I'm going to make an investment of 50 grand to hire my first team, make sure that's all up and running and they're all paid while we get to that next level. I trust myself to pick smart people, do the work well, and get to that next level. And that 50 grand will be a drop in the bucket because I'll pay it off. Right? So what I tell my clients who join the Diamond Mastermind is the monthly investment that they make to be part of that group, to come on the retreats, to come to Maui and Bali, to get the weekly coaching, be part of that group, is don't fucking put this on your credit card. And the reason for that is not because I don't think you should go into debt. It's very different. The reason that I do tell my clients that is because you need to be working your ass off. That payment should be like, and when people are first starting out, that payment should be fire for them to go and to work hard and to do the brave work that they need to do to make the client. So that should be a measurement point for them. Am I working really hard? Am I doing the brave work? Or am I giving a bunch of excuses and flailing around and doing a bunch of busy work? Am I slowing down? Am I doing my deep work? Am I creating stuff? Am I letting the world see it? Am I using my deepest voice? Am I calling my clients to action? Right? Am I doing well in my enrollment calls? Right? I teach them all how to do enrollment calls. So like, are you doing those well? Are you avoiding the money conversation? Are you squirreling out when they say I can't afford it or I don't have time? Or are you driving into that and learning to do that well? So it's a measurement, T, right? Like, so the reason we do that is just a measurement to work really hard, right? There was plenty of times when I had to, in the beginning, put a payment on a credit card, but it's not the goal. The goal is to be doing the work, right? So it's just another incentive to show up and do the work and work really hard, as if most of us need more incentives, right? Most of us, our incentive is to take care of people we love and to travel the world. To travel. Some people it is Chanel bags and shit like that. I don't care about that shit, but I do care about traveling the world, taking care of my family and helping other women have transformation in their life and feel worthy and get out of the fucking poor trap. God, that was a hard life. It was hard. It was hard living like that. It was hard living poor. It was hard. I can't imagine going back to that place now that I'm at where I'm at. Like, I just can't imagine. And I see the people. I went to the registry the other day, and it was unbelievable looking around like, wow, I fucking forgot. I forgot what it's like to live this way. And my heart just like, oh, I just started like this drive and this passion, like, fuck, I need to help these people get out of this because I know that they can. Chuck, so much information, deep, amazing info. I'm in huge aha right now. That's awesome, Chuck. Thank you. Okay, I'm going to make sure I didn't miss any more questions. T, did that answer your question? Do you think the fact that nope, I got that one. Doctor's appointments. Okay, I don't think I missed any questions. Does anybody else have any questions for the morning chat? Mara, speaking of enrollment calls, do you think these should be like a mini session so that the person can see what it's like to work with you? Such a great question. So just for the other people that are going to be watching this, one, if you're on a script, get the fuck off. Get off a script. Stop being on scripts for anything ever in your entire life. You're drawing in people who are drawn to you because of you, and then you use a script and try to funnel them through someone else's shit. That don't work, right? If you use it in the very, very beginning, just to get your footing, fine. After that, get off. Knock it off. That's like cheating in a way that doesn't work. It's like cheating off the dumb person. Don't do that. All right. So hold on. What were you saying? Do I think that they should be? Yes. Right. So I teach a very particular enrollment process that I've learned through multiple mentors, and a lot of the high level people are using this kind of sales technique. And some people suggest doing in the middle, doing this like doing a mini session with them. And some people suggest don't do that. Save it all. Here's my take. My take is don't ever hold fucking value back. Ever. Ever. It's literally holding the life rope while they're drowning. Like, why would you do that? Don't hold back value. So do you want to give them all transformation that call? No, because it doesn't serve them, because they're going to go, then they're going to be like, no, I'm good. Thank you. That was what I needed. They're going to go back. They're going to think they can change their life. But you and I both know neuroscience, it takes 90 days for them to really transform those neural pathways and to build new myelin for the new ones so that they actually have a fighting chance in keeping that consistent, sustained change in their life. Right. So it does not serve us to really just give them massive value and then they go away. It doesn't help our business, and then we can't help them reach other people. And it doesn't serve them, because they'll go home and they'll fail again and then they'll beat themselves up. However, to provide massive transformation for a particular thing that you see come up that you know will support them in their life, and you know you can still call them to much more and give them the clarity that, like, okay, this is a good start. Now let's get going. That's, of course, yes. Why wouldn't you do that? Yeah, I love that question, Mara. That's such a fantastic question. My motto is really, and I learned this from a mentor. She said it, and I was like the first time I heard it, I didn't think that much of it. And then I noticed how often I did it, and I shifted that right away. And now I teach it myself, which is really like, stop holding back value. Like, if you have value to give it right then, right now, all the time. Like, I remember I'd go on like one of my pages and I'd go to write something that I was like, no, I should save that for a template, or I should run a monthly group on that, or I should do this. And like, I would like hold back stuff thinking I could like juggle it. And so now it's like, whatever, if I have value to give you right now, I'm giving it to you. I'm not going to like hold back. I'm not going to nothing. Cause I know when I go to get to that group in 2 weeks, I'm going to be completely different. The amount of information I absorb and the way I learn, I'm going to be completely different, have massive value to give you then. So I no longer hold back, which is a really big deal. Okay. Hold on. Mara has a second half of the question. I was taught to just get them into their emotions, but don't actually coach them. I like your advice. Yeah, me too. I mean, I've had people teach me that. That goes against one of my core values, which is to give you the maximum amount of value I can at any given moment, right? Like, teaching enrollment for a sales process for me will make me tons of money, right? But I'm in a free Facebook Live showing up, and I'm going to tell you, because you're probably amazing and you have people whose lives you're going to change. Why wouldn't I share it with you now? Right? So the people who are really ready to get that consistent weekly support will go join my stuff. We'll go, Accelerated Coaching Academy and fill out an application and work with me, right? It's not going to stop the people who are meant to work with me from working with me because I gave them value now, right? So same in enrollment call. However, I just want to reiterate that it can go wrong if you're giving them so much value in the enrollment call that they don't join your program, and then they don't get a chance to rewire those things that are going on for them. We do want them to go to that. So you have to trust yourself to have the skill to call them to more while you're giving them the massive value. Okay, makes sense? In any part of life, there are challenges. Hell yeah, Pamela. How do you keep all the people in groups engaged if you have 20, 30 people? Okay. How do you keep them engaged? So you're probably asking that. That tells me that you probably not run a group, because if you're in a group, you'd see it's actually really easy to keep them engaged. It is really easy, right? So, I mean, it depends on what your niche is and what you do, but basically my question I teach my clients is do whatever you would want someone to do in a group that you were part of, right? Like, and give them a survey. Ask them, if somebody designed a program just for you, what would you want them to do? What would you want them to give, right? And if you're really good at what you do and you've called in the right tribe, they're going to be really anxious for stuff from you. So they're going to naturally be very engaged. It's actually really easy to keep them engaged in a group like that. So, weekly content, weekly coaching, Facebook Lives, encouragement, support. When people have touch points with you and they just feel better after they have been part of, have closer connection to you, the closer they are to you, the more they feel better. People love that, right? Like, I stay close to the people that make me feel better. Of course I do. Why wouldn't I? Right? So don't worry about that, Connie. Don't worry about how to keep them engaged. It's pretty easy, and it'll be natural, and it's just showing up and finding out what they need, and then giving them what they need and what they want. And by the way, what they need and what they want are never the same. Marketing advice is give them what they want, and so that you can give them what they need, right? Clients and coaches are always coming to me like, I just need to know how to learn this funnel or this thing or this whatever. Like, I built a $250,000 business having no email list, no funneling, no nothing. I didn't even run Facebook Facebook ads, right? So you don't need that shit, but you think you do. So I'll give you what you need. I do a lot of tech teaching in the group, even though that's something that you and I both know you can learn slowly on the side. I do that because they think they need that, but what they really need is mindset training. It's a kick in the ass when they're, staying focused on things that don't work. All of the things that help us stay focused and mature and moving forward in those brave, consistent actions, right? That's what they need. And I know that, but I also give them what they want so they get their foot in the door so that I can give them what they actually need, right? Give value. Love this, Mandy. Hell yes. Amy, how many people do you feel is a good size for a group? So this is what I know. I'm not going to make shit up. I know I like 20 and 30. Less than 10 is not something I would do, or not something I would enjoy. I'm not saying I wouldn't do. If I ran a group and 10 people showed up, I would do the 10 people. I prefer around 20 to 30. And then also, I know that 60 is way too much. So I guess my answer would be 20 to 30 in a group is a really great size. If it's your very first groups, 10 is fantastic. Doing 10 for the first, group or two and getting your footing and learning how to manage the group and all those kind of things. And then 20 to 30 is a really great size to be able to track with people, but be able to get the max value out to people and have a lot of different flavors in the group so you can learn from everybody, all of that. Suban, don't hold back value. The first time I heard you say that was so huge for me. Yeah, me too, Suban. Pamela, mindset training. How does one stay in the mindset? I think I stay there. How do you know? Oh, Pamela, you crush it with mindset. I've never seen someone so great at celebrating wins and shifting from, the temper tantrums to focusing back on, what's the next thing. You remind me of me a lot. I would have I'm not saying you have really big temper tantrums. I'm not there. I don't know. If you're anything like me, you do like just sort of these like freak outs, and then I get right back on track. I brush myself off, get back on track, stay focused on the next thing. Honestly, I think you're fantastic at it. How do you stay there? Get a mentor who holds you accountable to that, especially if it's weekly. That's huge. And do your journaling so that we're listening to our body, right? Most of us who've been through any level of trauma have the habit of not listening to our body. So anxiousness is just like, okay, I was bulimic for 21 years. Right? 21 years I had bulimia, and there was unaddressed things. I was forcing myself to stay and live in a way that was not conducive to my being at peace. So for 21 years, I didn't know better. That was just the way I was trying to heal myself, right? So after I finally started healing and started learning stuff, then now bulimia is a blessing to me, because when I find the urge to purge, right? I've never said that before. That's kind of funny. Funny, not funny. right? So when that sensation comes on, like if I find myself thinking about it, or like I remember like, oh, I could go throw up, I immediately ask myself, okay, what's off? Something's way off here. And it's like such a blessing. It's like my wisdom coming and tapping me on the shoulder and be like, hey, something's way off. I need you to go address this, right? It's like this major blessing so that I slow down and tune in, because I know I'll never let myself go back to that place. So listening to your body is how we change our mindset, because your body will tell you when you're off. Your body will tell you when to leap, even though your brain's telling you, fuck no. And your body will tell you when to slow down, even though your brain's saying, go, 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 more, right? So if we can get out of this and drop into this a lot more, that's really going to help us with our mindset. I've been focusing more on breathing. I hold my breath. Yeah, you might like Kundalini yoga. I do. And it's really helpful. It's breathing and helps release emotions from the body. It just helps you connect with your body more. I find it to be really powerful. Okay, I don't see any more questions. I hope you guys enjoyed Coffee Chat with Mandy. And listen, I'm going to be creating these smaller groups, really affordable for everybody to be able to join, so we can just all get together and like work at one point at a time. The new one coming up is the just free to fucking be yourself one. Like, how do I just really shake off all the shit that everybody else is stuck on me and just be myself and have my true voice and like feel free and moving forward? How do I actually work through the things that really terrify me? Right. So that stuff I'll be posting about that coming up really shortly. And then many groups after that. If you guys have a subject that you would like me to, whether it's a free training that I do as a gift, or it's one of the groups that I'll be doing up the monthly groups, post it down here below. Let me know the topics that you guys are really struggling with, and I'll go really deep with those so that it gets dealt with once and for all. Geez, I'm not a coach and I want to join. Angie. Hey, Angie, all the groups coming up for that smaller stuff has nothing to do with whether you're a coach or not. So you're more than welcome. The Diamond Mastermind, well, it's for online entrepreneurs, whether you're a coach or not. It's for online entrepreneurs. More coffee chats. Yeah, there will be more coffee chats. I am going to be playing with a little bit of technology. Hopefully you guys don't mind that. I'm giving value, and the value I get back is for you guys to sort of allow me to play with some technology as I do these. Also, tag coaches below, right? Like, listen, I want to reach the people out there that are struggling. My intention is to reach millions of people and help support them to get out of this poor mindset and to start feeling worthy and understanding how they can be part of this 10% of people in this industry, any kind of online entrepreneurship, right? Don't be selfish. Don't like hold the information to yourself. There's no competition. There's no lack. Abundance is like oxygen. It's everywhere. There's enough for everyone. Okay. So tag the people, really share your wisdom, right? Like, we don't hold back value, including stuff like this. If you see a valuable video, if it was, valuable for you, tag your friends below. And also let me know the stuff, the content that you would, I'm going to read it. I'm going to note it down, and I'm going to create stuff based off of what you guys tell me. So you guys are the go-getters that are here. I'm going to create stuff based on what you guys need. And then I'll let you guys know. It'll be posted in the business page. If you're kind of new here or not really like up on like all the Facebook stuff, you might want to add the business page as see first. So when you go over to like the join thing, there's a down button, you click that and you hit see first. So then you'll see any kind of offers and stuff coming up. Like when I'm doing lives, you guys will be able to get notifications for that, all those kind of things. And it just shows up first, and you can do that with everyone else that you like to follow. So that the top part of your Facebook is all content that you want to be seeing, that's supporting you in what you want to do, right? Awesome. All right. So make sure you let me know what stuff you're struggling with, what stuff you'd love me to teach or dive deeper into, and tag other coaches and other friends that are go-getters and working hard and really need the tips to keep moving forward and could use the support. Okay. I love you guys.